taking off in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy, T.O.'s, you know.
It's your boy, Fake or Rain, real name Addy Play. All games, all gimmicks.
Yeah, and I just realized that this thing is going to be programmed to go to that do shot. So we'll just have to flip. So just go hit. Just go ahead and stall for me for a sec. You can go to your 3-shot or your single shot.
All right. You don't have a program on here either?
Nah, fuck. All right.
Wait, there we go.
We
got it. There we go. It's all good. Yeah, we're waiting for some people here. Well, Rain had some stuff going on today, so I'm filling in super quick while our main man over here does his thing too. So don't worry about all of the camera angles and changes and everything. We got this.
It's almost like we're professionals, aka we're not. Yo, what's going on, man? How's life? How you feeling?
Life is good, man.
Yeah.
2 weeks from the wedding.
Oh shit!
Buying another rental property.
Are you good? Are you nervous? Excited? All the above?
Definitely not nervous. Like I definitely don't understand what people do.
Yeah.
To get themselves all psyched out about the person that you're marrying, that you've already decided to marry.
Yeah.
Why are you nervous about it?
Because people are afraid of reality, right?
Then why were you with that person to begin with?
No. Come on. You're thinking about it too just like gushy. Oh my gosh, this is the person I love. No. It's just like anything. It's like when you go buy a car, right? You go buy the car. Or first you do the research on the car. Oh man, this is the car that I want. You go to the lot. You're like, I want that car right there, right? And then as soon as you sign your name on that dotted line, you're like, fuck. Was that the right choice? Did I make the right choice on the car?
It's either that or you Uber everywhere or you don't have a ride. So it's like...
No, there are plenty of other cars. What do you mean?
No, I already invested 8 years of my life, into this girl. Yeah, we're just going to happen. It's going to happen. We're going to get married.
No. Your question was very different from what you just said, right?
What do you
mean? Your question was, I don't know why people get like nervous about like doing this whole like marriage thing or whatever. This is the person that you... But I personally think regardless of how long you've been together, it's always a different situation when you make it like legal, like legally, literally, you're tied to this person for the foreseeable future.
That's assuming you haven't already done things jointly, joint bank accounts, joint mortgage, joint everything.
Yeah, this is true. So the more things that you combine together, the more
joint child,
a joint child, as opposed to just a singular child, like one person having a child is Mary, I guess, in the Immaculate.
Let me tell you this. Yeah. It gets annoying that people keep asking, "Are you getting nervous?" Like I can understand, Anna, she's putting on the entire wedding. I can see her getting definitely nervous because it's a whole event.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I just want to make sure that she looks fabulous.
Yeah.
As a center of attention, and I just need to be there to say my vows and do the kiss,
you're part of this too.
Shake my ass a little bit on the dance floor, and call it a day.
Yeah. Look, for as much as you say, I just need a show. No. You're half of this equation, all right, whether you like it or not.
And that's why I'm going to be there. Front and center, standing.
Fair enough. What's one of the best wedding? It doesn't even have to be like the wedding is like the main thing, but like whether it's a wedding scene or just like what's one of the best wedding.
I mean, you have to instantly go to Wedding Crashers. It's just a classic.
Wedding Crushers. Wedding Crushers. They might have well have been Wedding Crushers. But Wedding Crashers, I think, that's definitely. But I feel like that created a much rosier picture of what weddings are. I think it seemed fun. It seemed exciting.
Yeah, but like, how many? Okay, so I haven't been to too many weddings that I've sat in. I've been to a bunch of weddings that I filmed.
Sure.
And assisted with filming. So those weddings absolutely suck because you have to work a lot. But the couple that I have been to, they've been fun. You just gotta sit there, eat some food, dance a little bit.
Yeah, no. But the Wedding Crashers made it seem like epic. They made each wedding seem like throw your hands up, man. And it's like, I don't think that had, like, you might get the electric slide out of like one of the weddings.
I don't know, man. I've been seeing some of these like millennial TikTokers and everybody, the Gen Zers, they party.
What I'm saying is curated wedding stuff, great. When you're actually at the wedding, it's a little bit boring for like 75% of it.
Though the last wedding that I was at, it was Anna's family's wedding. And it was one of those venues where like you have multiple weddings at the same time, and the wedding next door was just divided by like a partition wall.
Oh no!
And they were so late coming back from their actual wedding, and they were just having their reception there. Oh no! Now here's the thing: it was a black wedding, right?
Okay.
And they got there so late.
Yeah, this is a black podcast. Just let you know.
Okay. That's a good thing. Yes,
I didn't know where you're headed with it. I'm watching you.
That's okay. It's okay. I watch myself when the camera's on.
Fair enough.
The wedding party got there so late to have their wedding reception that when our party's vows were being read, Soulja Boy and Juvenile's back that ass up
as should be the case
while you're giving your vows.
As should be the case when you're exchanging your vows.
Absolutely. So it spice things up a little bit.
Forget spice. No, that's the correct amount of spice. You're not spicing it up.
Exactly.
That's the spice it should be.
You're my favorite girl in the whole wide world. Like you're my sunshine, and then you got Juvenile.
You a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Soulja Boy.
I was expecting when she was or when he was giving his what's that other Juvenile song? She get it from her mama. She get it from her mama. That would have been just a cherry on top. That would have been fantastic.
Oh my god. Okay. I personally think one of the best wedding movies of all time has to be. I'm going to go old school here. I'm going to go
The Wedding Planner.
No. The Graduate.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with The Graduate, right? Because it has the famous scene where he goes and he breaks up the wedding, and then they're just sitting on the bus together, and they're like, "This was cool," and then they're like, it sets in like, "Well, fuck. All right, what do we do now?"
I kind of did this thing.
So I want to go with that. That's one of the best weddings.
There was one that I watched. Yeah. It was a indie production. It might be on Tubi right now. I forgot what it was called. I'll have to look it up. But the premise of it was the guy needs help learning some sort of subject to pass his course in university or something. I don't know. Sure. And he gets a tutor. And the entire thing is shot in one location on like a park bench. And it spans like over a 2-week period between like when she's getting ready to get married and she is the tutor helping him. And then they kind of get close together and then, stuff happens.
Yikes.
On that bench.
On the bench.
On the bench.
Shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it was actually,
it
was well done.
Yeah.
Except for one part.
Okay.
The guy stands up and in the shot.
A full erection.
No.
Okay.
No.
He
just stands up without an erection.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware.
It's not as exciting as I thought it was.
This isn't Top Gun. Like, you don't watch the beach scene and, see a guy stand up.
Is that what we saw in Top Gun? When did that happen in Top Gun?
What are you talking about?
You can see the oiled up bodies. You don't see you don't see anybody walking around a fully erect penis. I don't think that was a thing in Top Gun. Hey, we see what we want to see.
Top Gun.
Hey, we see what we want to see, guy. All right, fair enough.
Back to my story.
All right.
He stands up and you can see the lavalier microphone and the transmitter in his back pocket, and I'm like, come on, you couldn't have done better.
Oh, come on,
couldn't have edited that out somehow.
No.
Get a bird to like fly across the scene.
I think we've already litigated this with the Game of Thrones stuff, right? Like everybody who's tripping about like, oh my gosh, like you had this faux pas or whatever, like you had the Starbucks cup. Yeah,
was that an actual real thing though? I didn't know if that was
it was legit in the thing, but it's just like, does this really fucking take away from like it really your suspension of disbelief it halts at seeing this one thing.
But you know what's funny about that though? Yeah. So to me, I don't really give a shit about that one.
Yeah.
But it's the technical side of like certain things that when you see them like you see the boom operator's shadow, at some point that irks me. I don't care about the Starbucks cup, but the technical side of it,
if it's plentiful and egregious, like if it's like a lot of these things, like, okay, then it's just like neglect, right? Like then you're just not taking care with your scenes, right? But if it's like one or two things you see in a movie, whatever, it's fine. Like, and also if it's not terribly destructive to, the material itself, then, it's whatever.
That was in one of the later seasons, right? The Starbucks thing.
It was in the final season, actually.
The final season that people just didn't like.
And I'm sure there's been plenty throughout the entire show, but for whatever reason, because everybody hated season 8, they were like, "Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever! I can't believe it in the history of television. I can't." It's just like, shut up.
In the history of television.
Go to Starbucks, have yourself a fucking venti latte, whatever the fuck you call it, and chill the fuck out, all right?
Okay.
I don't all right, let's get into some business here, man. Let's talk about some this week, next week shit. Coming out this week, man, we got White Noise coming out. We were actually going to watch the trailer for this a little bit later. This is Noah Baumbach's film starring Adam Driver and Greta Gerwig, among others. Don Cheadle, I believe, is also in it. We'll talk, like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Don Cheadle, man, one of my favorite actors.
National treasure, this guy is. So that's coming out this week, along with Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I watched it yesterday. I don't care for holiday specials when it comes to like one-off, because it's kind of like, well, I just want to see the thing, right? Like if you're the Guardians of the Galaxy, I just want to see you guys do Guardians of the Galaxy shit. I don't really care about some sort of epic Christmas tale or fucking I'm sure they're gonna have like Kwanzaa with Black Panther at one of these years. I'm not here for
Jewish. I didn't know that.
I don't.
Is Kwanzaa Jewish?
I don't think that's no. Yeah. I don't think that's
what is Kwanzaa
Jewish.
Then?
Kwanzaa, I think, is just a black thing. I don't think it. I'm not sure if it. I don't. It would be the thing I would say would be is Muslim, if anything at all. But I don't think it is. I don't think it's a religious holiday.
Kwanzaa is an annual celebration of African American culture.
Yeah. I don't think it's
not Jewish at all.
Specific. Yeah, I was like, I don't. No, I think you're talking about Hanukkah. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
I hate religion.
Apparently, you can't get any of them straight. But and also too, man, for everybody who's just like, oh my god, Christmas. I don't like celebrating these religious holidays. Is Christmas religious holiday anymore? Barely anybody knows that it has anything to do with Jesus, and it doesn't actually have anything to do with Jesus. No. If we're being honest,
no, it's the worst holiday, man. It's
you said it's the worst holiday.
It's the worst.
No, it's not.
It's absolutely.
You and Ray are devoid. Of money. You guys are devoid.
Waste of money feeding into the capitalist system. Wait till you get kids. That we need to tear down.
Save this speech for your kids.
I will. As they get hand-me-downs every single year.
Tears roll down their cheeks as they watch the other kids get all the fucking new shit.
You know what? This is going to be part of my vetting wows right here. It's like, I vow to never give our children a proper Christmas.
Ew. Get divorced immediately. Let's just step out of here and get a divorce. We're not even technically married, but let's just get a divorce anyways. Fuck it. It's preemptive.
While our
divorce.
wedding is Christmas themed as well. So
my God. Jesus. Yeah. I'm sure that'll fly exactly correct.
Yeah, but like when you have a huge family though, man, it gets expensive.
Yeah, you just gotta.
And then I have to pay to watch Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, whatever. Like,
well, assuming that you already have Disney Plus, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so then what are you complaining about?
A lot of things.
Sounds like complaints. Okay, yeah. And then next week, following with our Christmas theme here, we have Violent Night, starring David Harbour, I believe his name is. But basically, I think he plays just like a renegade Santa Claus.
I do want to see that one
because of the violence, right?
Yeah.
Wow, you're truly American. You're truly American now.
When I came to America and learned that there was something called Thanksgiving, where there's a turkey, I assumed you slaughtered a turkey the day of. Do the whole halal thing, get its blood and guts out and everything, skin it, and then pop it into the fryer. Yeah. That's what I expected, and I was surely disappointed.
It seems like less work.
I was expecting a bloodbath.
I'm not chasing any turkey, so
you don't chase it.
You don't chase.
No, you buy it in a cage. That's just the way you do it.
It's even more inhumane. What the fuck?
That's also why I went vegan, Love
this
animals.
made up holiday ritual you're talking about. Yes, that's the reason why you went vegan. This thing
Absolutely.
that you've made up in your mind it contributes to why you're vegan. God damn you vegans. You guys just make shit up. Okay, let's go past these movies here. Some headlines. Obviously, sad news, man. This past week, Jason David Frank. For those who don't know, he played Tommy Oliver in the Power Rangers universe, and he passed away this past week. Sadly, it was due to suicide. Now, I think the first thing I think when I heard that, not only him passing away, but how he passed away, is, man, you really don't know like what you can see all the fucking people in movies, you can see people on Instagram, on TikTok, or what, you never really fucking know what's going on with somebody, man. And it makes this has nothing to do with him, at least I don't think. But like, when you see people get like bullied online, like people might come out with a movie, or somebody might come out with a show, or somebody might just like post something and then they get shitted on like relentlessly. And then you think, damn, man, I wonder if that person internalizes all that shit, Like I remember, what's her name? God, she's from Fresh Off the Boat. Constance Wu, I believe. She talked about how she was like kind of close to kind of being suicidal when I think it was that she's talked about how she didn't really care to work on Fresh Off the Boat, and people just hordes of just fucking criticism because of that. Being online really does like dehumanize us in a way that we don't connect it with like people, right? We treat everybody as if they're not people. Anyways, I don't know if that's what happened here. In fact, there's nothing to point to that evidence here with Jason David Frank. But man, to reach that age, to have like 4 kids, and then to be like, fuck it, is to me stunning.
It sucks, man, and you are right. Like, you never really know what's going on in somebody's head. I mean, you look at some of the high-profile ones recently, like Anthony Bourdain. Yeah. I mean, you look at the kind of life that you saw on screen that he had, and you would just think this guy has everything, and he's just
living.
happy.
You think he's living?
Smiling.
You're like, how could anybody be sad? You're living life.
But it's
all relative.
It is, man, and I was reading something not too long ago that. In the non-white communities, when it comes to celebrities, it's even worse. Like, it's at a much higher rate that you do have suicides. So it really does go to show you, man, you just really never know. And you are 100% right. We are so disconnected from people and reality when we are online, and everything is online. You look at, I would imagine, I know there's some celebrities who like never watch their own movies. That's just a thing that they do. I think like Ben Affleck at some point said like he just wasn't watching any of his movies because it was just like too depressing for him.
I can get that. Yeah.
But you have to see it. Like, you get on Twitter, you get on Facebook. I mean, it's gonna pop up. The algorithm is gonna find you. They're gonna find bad reviews about you, and human nature. You're curious beings. You have to look up your own stuff. So it's rough, man. It really is rough.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. So Jason David Frank, again, he played Tommy Oliver in the original Power Rangers show. Rain is he's entered the chat. He's entered the chat.
Blue, come here.
Blue, hey, come here this way.
Yeah, I got some technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties like this dog.
Yeah,
I'm about to just open the door and just leave it open.
We're about to have the real Orain up in here too, not the fake one.
Yeah, no fake Orains here. Hold on. So Orain, just to kind of let you know what we're talking about. We're talking about Jason David Frank, who played Tommy Oliver in the original Power Rangers series, who recently passed away due to suicide, and just our thoughts on that.
Yeah, dude. One of the things that I paid attention to as like the news around this story broke is like what happened in that hotel room. I believe with him and his like estranged wife or his ex-wife.
Or is that what I didn't know that that's
So apparently they were in some type of I mean, you know how relationships go, right?
Yeah.
I think again he was either his ex-wife or his estranged wife. They were going through a separation, maybe like custody battle with the kids. There was a lot of like relationship things going on. And allegedly, and again, I don't know all the details, so I'm speaking like slightly informed but mostly uninformed. Allegedly they got in a fight, and then they had a hotel, and he locked her out of the hotel room, and that's when he committed suicide. So I imagine, and not to put any like blame on her, right? Because like I think you can't really like, if someone in a relationship or a marriage decides like, you know, I'm in a bad place mentally, and like they commit suicide, I think what happens generally is a lot of people point the finger at the other person, like, "Oh, like you made them do it. Like you must be such a shitty partner that like they decided to do that to get away from you." I don't think that's, at least I hope that's not what this is about. You know, I think people have mental health issues, right? Yeah. And there are a lot of things that are at the root of that. You know, it could be work, it could be family, it could be finances, it could just be a personal thing where it's just like something deep inside of this person. Regardless, it's an unfortunate passing. You know, I wish the absolute best for like his family and his loved ones, and it's just really unfortunate. But I do think the message here is to ask for help, seek help, to share with people and others what you're going through, so that, you know, you're not alone as much as possible in whatever struggle that you're going through. I imagine he was going through something, and either he didn't know who to speak to, he didn't know how to reach out, or he just felt like isolated and minimized in some way, and he couldn't find the right avenue or maybe just the right people to like, you know, check in on him. So if you have a friend or family member who's going through, whether it's like a loss of a job, you know, a loss of, you know, a loved one, a divorce, marriage issues, like you gotta reach out to that person. You gotta make sure that, because that is like, it's fucking heavy. Imagine being with someone for 20 years or however long they were married, and then all of a sudden over. Not everyone handles that in the best way.
That can be the same as literally like anything, being together 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. You know, I don't know if there's like a limit, like spending, it depends on how you feel about the person, I think. You know? Obviously, like the longer together you are, the longer everything kind of gets tied together and your lives sort of become meshed, you know, and more intertwined. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, and again, I don't, just like you were saying, like, I don't know if that's what.
I mean, and we may never know.
But in the same breath, it's like for anybody out there who's struggling, man, as somebody who's dealt with, you know, obviously nothing like suicide, but like mental health issues of just like, you know, understanding where you're at, like just know like, yo, it gets better, man. Like you gotta like, you know, there is tomorrow, and the key is just to get to tomorrow, you know, give yourself a chance, man. I was just, you know, celebrating Thanksgiving with my family. And it was just incredible, man. Just to like see everybody and kids running around now, and, you know, siblings there, moms there, you know what I mean? Like, and you know, we went and did the whole thing, and I know you hate this, but we go around and give thanks and say what you're thankful for.
My least favorite thing.
Yeah. So we did that thing. And the thing that I said was, I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity to see this moment. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause there's so many times in life where I could have been like, you know, fuck this shit, you know? And I didn't, not because I foresaw like, oh my God, you're going to, you know, things are going to turn around, but because it's like, just give yourself the opportunity, give yourself the chance to be able to get a better life. 'Cause who knows, whatever's on the back end of that can be twice as better as whatever you thought, you know, life could be, you know? And then that's surely like what I feel right now. It's like, because I gave myself the chance, it's like, oh my God, like there's no contest. Of course, you just suffer through the hardships to get to this moment. Every moment of that is worth it, you know?
Yeah. So. When I'm at the gym occasionally, I listen to like motivational speeches, like on YouTube, you know, E.T. and who's the other guy? Like the white guy is like the famous Tony.
There's a lot
Tony
of
Robbins.
famous white guys.
He's like the famous motivational. I think it's Tony Robbins or something. Like, and like they'll have like clips from like, you know, whatever.
Pull that mic a little closer to you.
Yeah, they'll have like clips from like whatever celebrity is speaking, and you know, it's just like a 20-30 minute long motivational speech thing, and it helps when I'm on like the treadmill or the stair stepper. Just
keep
like,
you going. Yeah,
exactly.
You want to give up on those.
So
stair best.
You know, and the message that I love the most usually is just like, just make it to tomorrow. That's it. That's usually all you have to do. Don't try and plan out like, all right, what the next week is going to look like, what the next month is going to look like, what the next year is going to look like. Because that stuff is very difficult to plan for people who are going through a really tough time.
Yeah, I think
just
that's the key.
Try and make it to tomorrow. If it's Monday, just be like, you know what? Before I lose my shit, let me at least get to Tuesday. And then we'll see how Tuesday goes. And on Tuesday, if Tuesday's not too bad, then get to Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, and then those days will start to accumulate, and then you'll start to realize that, all right, you know what, like I can keep going.
Yeah, I think that's the key to it, right? Is that like if you're having like a rough time of it, right? Like I think more often than not, you're going to be able, like you need to like plan like ahead. Like shit, I need to know what my next week looks like, next month.
Yeah, for sure,
yada, in order to like start achieving some things, in order to start like. You know, for lack of a better term, like leveling up, you need to be able to kind of think ahead here. But if you're finding that life is just hard right now, just get yourself. Yeah, you're right. Just like to the next day, the next hour, things. The next minute. Just be like, I just need to get there. I just need to get to that next minute. I just need to get to the next hour. I just need to get to the next, night, the next day. You know, like just take it one fucking step at a time, man. And I promise you, it will get better over the course of time. And even if it does get a little rougher, those, you know, as the old cliche goes, you know, what is it? Tough times don't last, tough people do, or something like that. It might not be exactly that.
Yeah,
it might be something different.
But tough times create. Well, I heard something. There's a bunch of them. Like tough times create tough people. Tough people create. There's times of ease. Times of ease create weak people. You know. There's 1,000 of them.
There's 1,000 of them. But long story short, man, just get yourself to the next day, man. And you know, sad to hear about Jason David Frank going. Fucking, there will never be another more epic. I think he might be close to the top as far as like when we talk about Goku, when we talk about like fucking, I don't know, Naruto, you know, like all these other like
those
iconic
like
characters
throughout TV and film
from our youth,
from our childhood. That like
Green Ranger,
they were like
oh my god,
beacons of hope.
Oh my
to use
god, when he pulled out that gold fucking
the flute
shield
or whatever, or the shield
and the flute.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
when you knew what was the robot? What was that called?
Something. I mean, is a Zoid of some sort, Dragon Zoid. Something
like that. But when he pulled that flute out and called that motherfucker,
it was a wrap.
Oh my god.
It was a wrap.
You knew it. Yeah, you knew whoever they were going against, you knew they were about to get bodied.
And then he had those like missiles on his hands that he shoot out. Yeah. They pop out of his hands. Oh my, it was a wrap.
That joint was autonomous too. That joint had Tesla technology in it.
From like Tesla. 1993. That shit had the Tesla.
Had the backup cam. This was in 93, had the backup cam.
Yo, shout out to Jason David Frank, man. Played Tommy Oliver in the Power Rangers universe. He was Green Ranger, White Ranger. I think he even played a few other Rangers. He eventually, I think, became the Red Ranger at some point in time. Long story short, man, sad to see him go, man. That's a rough one. Moving on here, we get a new series, a new sort of anthology. You put this on the card, Kaleidoscope, which is going to be streaming on Netflix here soon. So what's unique about this? So it's basically just like about a heist, right? Mm-hmm. That these people are trying to do. It's basically just like kind of like Ocean's 11-esque type of situation here, where you get a gang of people together. Did you ever watch that Rick and Morty episode where he like gets the people together and they just keep like getting like more people?
Probably, but I don't know. I don't remember it offhand.
That shit was fucking hilarious.
I'm pretty sure I'm all caught up on Rick and Morty, and I've seen every episode. But like, I'm not gonna lie, there are some episodes where you're drunk or you're high, you don't remember everything. It's just fun.
That shit was hilarious because it would just like he created this like machine that would set up the heist, and it was like up to him to like beat the machine. Like, and so he'd like everybody he'd go to, it'd be like they'd respond to him when he goes to like get like recruit the people is, Rick, you son of a bitch. Like people do, like in these heist movies, like you old son of a bitch. Of course I'm in.
Oh yeah. The guy who's like, you really think you can do it, huh? You crazy son of a bitch. I'm in.
And then like, but everybody he would go see would say that.
Yeah,
like, exactly.
I want one of those moments when have you ever had like, yo, we're gonna do this thing. You know, remember that scene from The Town with Ben Affleck? He walks in, he's like, listen, you know, you can't ask any questions. You can't ask where we're going. You can't ask why, but we're going to hurt some people.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy Renner's just like,
yeah,
whose car are we taking?
Jeremy Renner terrified me in that.
He was
movie.
Great in
terrified me in that movie.
But I do want one of those moments in my life where I just like, and that's when you have a good friend where you just convince them, but hey,
no, you have a fellow sociopath is what you have.
Yeah, I call them good friends. Yeah. And you're just like, hey, listen, we're going to do something. Yeah. It's not legal.
Yeah,
we might hurt some people, and they're just like, "Yo, let's go."
I can't do it, dude. I can't look. It depends on what my station is in, and we just talked about this. Give yourself a chance, right? I can't fucking sign up for this, and then I might do a bid afterwards. What the fuck?
Yeah, but
can you guarantee we're gonna get off? Can we get off?
Can't guarantee it.
All right, then I don't know, buddy. Like,
but
I am not. Made
if we
for
do,
jail. We
have the greatest story ever.
All right,
life's about creating. Having those moments where you can tell really good stories.
That's fair. I want my stories to be non-jail stories. Is what I want. Yeah.
I want my stories to be like, yo, remember that time we should be. That was a felony. We should be doing 25 to life, but we beat it, and here we are. We can laugh about it.
Yeah,
as long as no one's wearing a wire.
That's the reality. You know, like the multiverse. Like that's the reality where you actually made it out. There's another reality where you didn't, and you're doing the bid.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm in this reality where you know, for some of the shit I've been into, we haven't ended up in jail.
Caught up.
I always say, if you've never run from the police, you've not lived.
I feel like there's people who Bill Gates never ran from.
I'm sure he did. Stealing newspapers
One
from
of the richest men in America.
No, he wasn't always rich. I'm pretty sure he stole a newspaper or a lollipop in 1937.
Yeah, like he's white. I don't think he ran from the police. For that.
Probably not.
That was his uncle.
Yeah, he probably called him like,
"Hey, Bob, shut up." All right. Anyways, Kaleidoscope. Now, what's unique about this anthology is that apparently everybody's going to have a different experience with it because it's not going to be shown in a sequential order. That everybody gets to choose what episodes they watch and when, and that it works as a series. In that you can watch any one episode and it'll have bits of information that might be addressed in another episode, or some things will be revealed in this episode that you won't know is even a question until you watch the other episode. But it's kind of like a choose your own adventure book here.
I haven't started this show.
I don't think it comes out. Yeah, I don't think it comes out.
So yet. I wonder though if it's going to be like some of the more interactive Netflix programs January 1st. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if it's going to be like one of the more interactive Netflix programs where like as you watch one episode, you get to choose your path. Like you have to click it on the screen.
No, not like that. I think it's you literally watch the episode, but you can watch the episodes out of order, like whatever order they appear to.
See, I'm too lazy. Like if
just
I would just let it automatically do it, right? So
that'd be cool if it can if it mixes it up for you, and then chooses what episode you watch.
What would be an enhanced experience for the viewer is to have like the automation set so that the viewer can choose like, hey, do you want to follow this journey or that journey after?
We already did that though, and it wasn't that great. It was with Black Mirror. I forget. I think it was called. I forget exactly what it was called, but it's like
the interactive Black Mirror.
Yeah, thing. And it was like the idea was cool, but then it was just like it was kind of lame. Like the things that would end up happening, it's just like he goes right instead of left. But if he goes left,
And Bear Grylls had a show like that too, where you like get to like coordinate his adventure. Like, does he go to the lion refuge or does he take the river?
And he does and he does both.
Yeah, right? And it was a little bit fun because I did it with my daughter. It's like a little fun interactive thing.
What was that?
I think it was like Bear Grylls. It was on Netflix.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear about that.
I don't know. I just feel like for me, if you tell me, hey, you can watch this in any order, I'm just gonna watch it in
the order.
The Netflix countdown order, where it's like 10 seconds before you start the next episode. So I'm going 1 through 12 if there are 12 episodes.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I do like the concept still of not having to watch it in like a sequential order.
Yeah, if they curate it for you, meaning that like if they.
Or I might watch it backwards. I might start at the very end.
Like, that's just the thing. They do have a finale, which was confusing. So it's like, how can you really have a finale? And how can I?
So if they're like 12 episodes, I'm going to start at 11 and then 10, 9.
Yeah, you
8,
wouldn't start at
7, 6,
12.
5, and then I'd watch the finale.
Although I don't know if what I was seeing, if they just called it the finale because it's like the last episode that was like listed, or if that's truly like the end to the story.
And they're like, oh, don't watch this one.
Yeah. Until, well, you know what they could do is they could leave that episode until you've actually watched all of the other ones, and then you can access that episode.
You got to unlock it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What if you're sharing an account with somebody though, and they unlock it, you mistakenly watch it,
fucking
and
coordinate
then
then.
Fucked.
Text them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, don't watch all the fucking episodes then until I've seen it.
True.
All. Yeah.
Either way, this sounds really cool.
Interesting.
I like what Netflix is doing.
Yeah.
I like how Netflix is pushing the boundaries on this, doing something like trying to.
Well, they need to because they're losing money.
Yeah.
So they gotta figure some shit out. So these gimmicks are only going to go so far. Because they gotta figure their shit out here soon.
Yeah, dude. I wonder what the television viewing streaming experience is going to be like in 10 years.
I think it's going to be basically the same. I think as we sort of go on, things. What do they call it? What is it? It's like one of those laws of nature. Not diminishing. I think it's diminishing returns. I think I might be getting that wrong. Somebody please call me an idiot and then put it in the comment section of this.
We can go with that. I understand the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, but it's like it's basically just like this law where like every like 18 months technology like doubles, but it's I don't know if I'm pretty sure this isn't my thing, but I keep telling myself it's my thing. But I keep thinking that like as we go along though, those jumps are becoming less and less frequent, right?
For sure. It's like the iPhone, right? I have the iPhone, I think I have the 10 or the 11, right? And I think what's out now, like the 14 or something like that?
I think that's about to come out.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck what's about to come out unless it's like my company pays for it or I get a free one.
Like, does it actually do anything tremendous?
The camera is 0.1 pixel better. Yo, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There's nothing that iPhone 14 has that I need so bad.
Yeah.
That I like have to
go buy it.
I gotta update my contract.
But I think that's what it is for streaming, right? Like that. There's nothing like we went from you have to go out to the theaters to watch movies, right? Okay. Oh shit, you can watch movies at home. In terms of VHS tapes, right? Okay, go from DVDs. Okay, just makes it a little bit more accessible, a little bit easier to navigate in terms of you can like fast forward easily. You can skip around to different chapters easily. Okay. Now we have streaming, right? I don't know outside of like the mechanism in which we used to watch streaming. It's like, unless they're going to be in my fucking house, like acting out the shit like right there in front of me. I don't know where we can go with
I would
this.
like that, because
no, that's awkward. That's awkward for everybody.
It depends on the film, right? If I'm watching The Players Club
with your mom in the room,
like the guy. So we were at
there.
We went to a comedy show the other night.
Oh
and
shit!
There was this guy there sitting like fucking in front of the stage, and he was with his mom. Right, so the comedians.
Oh my God.
They were like, "Oh shit, is your mom?" They were asking the most inappropriate questions, like,
"Oh my, does your mom suck dick?"
And then they were like, I think the comedian was all the women here who suck dick raise their hand, and his mom raised his hand. It's like, now granted,
I don't even know if she actually raised her hand. I think he just said she did. Did she? Oh no!
And then.
Disastrous.
But obviously, that's how he got there. But I still don't want to know.
No, that's not how he got there.
Oh, that's not how. That's how his brothers and sisters didn't make it, but he did. But then later on in the show, Addy, like another comedian asked him, he was like, "Do you eat pussy?" And then he was like, "Yeah." And then his mom was. Then I think when the comedian
his mom said, "Yeah, I do too."
And then
Jesus, awkward for everybody.
But the mom was like, "You better," you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God,
I raised you better than that.
What are we doing here? Yeah, disaster.
That's fantastic.
Never sit in the front row at a comedy show with your mom or with like a partner who you and they stand out.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Well, okay, so I felt a little type of way.
Because, because there
God.
weren't many like interracial couples in the comedy shows. Like, but fortunately for you, there was like a closer interracial couple.
No, that stole the thunder.
That were sitting in front of the stage.
The problem is my partner kept getting up and like for to like go places, and then it's just like, yo, there's nobody else moving right now.
Yeah, right, we're a target. You're making us a target.
What'd you say?
How do you react to that? Like
what do you mean?
You and Caroline are there. You and your partner.
Yeah.
and he starts busting jokes, interracial jokes about.
You gotta laugh. What are you gonna do? Not laugh?
You gotta laugh.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
With it?
What are you gonna do? Fight back? No. That's gonna make it worse.
If the Will Smith slap, you know.
If you're that audience member, if you're that audience member,
I catch a lawsuit. Will Smith does it.
if you're the audience member at a comedy show who wants to like argue back with the,
You're crazy. What are you doing?
Stupid, and you're ruining the show for everyone else.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Just
you're
take the lumps.
butt of this joke. Just fucking take it.
You gotta do it.
Yeah.
You just gotta try not to stand out, which is what I was trying to. Because she was like at certain jokes, she was like laughing like hysterically and like be like, "Oh yeah, that too," and I'm just like, "Yo, you're set. You're the volume meter. You gotta bring that down a bit."
There was a Addy.
So what do you do then? It's like he's making fun of you.
You just
and then,
avoid
like,
eye contact.
The guy turns around, he's laughing at you, and then you're like, "At least my mom doesn't suck dick."
What do you
do?
No. So comedians are like sharks. As soon as they get it, well, taste that
it hurt
blood.
They don't stop.
You just gotta pretend to enjoy it.
You gotta pretend to enjoy
as much
it.
as they're enjoying it.
No matter how bad it hurts, no matter how bad you want to fucking Will Smith smack the shit out of him, you just gotta be like, "Oh, hilarious. Good one.
True. True. Who knew? Like whatever cliche, like average. Yeah, you're right.
But then imagine that though. It's like he's making fun of you, right?
Yeah.
You're there with your you're an interracial couple. You're there with your woman. You're just agreeing with everything that he says, and then afterwards you have to leave, sit in the car with your partner. It's like, so
no, I don't think
I don't think everything that he said.
No. I think there has to be a tacit understanding
you about what the comedian said on stage.
Then we know we're not.
We don't have the same sense of humor. This is gonna work.
No, forget even sense of humor. It's just like we need to understand each other here. There is nothing I can do. What am I? I'm gonna fight back. I'm gonna fight the comedian on stage.
End up on TikTok.
What the fuck? Then we make it worse.
Then you look like an idiot online.
Only Karens
fights comedian at
only
club.
Karens would be like, "You got to fight for my honor."
Defend
Fuck
me.
that. What are you? Shut up.
Defend me at the fucking comedy show. Like, no.
Like, babe, you're not.
I didn't bring
it. I'm not fighting for you.
Yeah.
We came here to
women's
have
rights.
fun.
Fight for yourself.
We came here to have fun, not like fucking fight for our honor.
All right. Jump into some other news here. Last bit of news we're gonna talk about here. So Kevin Costner, he came out and he's had a lot of comments recently, and I guess it's because of the success of Yellowstone. I don't know if either of you have watched this show. You have watched the show, Eddie?
I do hear it's a very good show.
I've seen like 4 episodes.
What do you think about it? Like it?
It's not bad. I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit of a perspective into
white
rodeo cowboy farm culture. Yeah, it's not bad. And it's Kevin Costner. He's a good actor.
Yeah. But he basically came out and was like, they tried to fight back against him, where he's like, he wanted Whitney Houston as his counterpart in The Bodyguard. Now, for those who weren't aware, Whitney Houston is black. That's I don't know how controversial that is to point out.
I wonder who wouldn't know that.
Well, apparently Kevin Costner, he was like, and because what's so funny is like, I appreciate like kind of like what he did, but then his way of talking about it is just like so weird. He's like, yeah, everybody kept reminding me that she was black, and I was like, I don't care what color she is, and it's like I get that, but then I feel like silence is like best, right? Because there's no form of that doesn't sound like you're like a white savior to me.
Yeah,
right?
like, it's kind of one of those things that doesn't.
I don't
need to be
see
said.
race, so therefore,
yeah, it's
I'm
like
good.
If I'm doing like if I have like a coworker and I'm introducing her to like another team or outside agency or whatever, and I'm like, this is my Asian coworker, and they're like, what? Like, what the fuck?
Wait.
Let's reschedule this call.
We need to bring HR into the conversation.
Yeah, that's completely unnecessary to call. Or just be like, this is my gay friend. Yeah. This is my like.
What are we doing?
It's a weird way to introduce anybody.
Yeah, why? But so he came out with comments about that, and then what it reminded me of is he made comments like, I guess earlier this week. I don't know if it's from the same podcast or not, or what the fuck, where all these comments are coming from. But he had comments like, "Oh, I don't care what people think of my politics." Right now, to set everybody up, he basically, I think he was a conservative at some point, and then he switched to being, I guess, an independent. And I think the people who watch Yellowstone might skew a certain
probably. And Yellowstone, I'm pretty sure it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. The only people who watch that are.
You came specifically for that.
They're definitely bigoted in some way. I don't know what way they're bigoted, but they're definitely bigoted.
I feel like Tucker Carlson has a program on
I think he does actually have a rose.
Really?
I don't know. I
wouldn't doubt it.
But so basically, I think he's not necessarily asked, and I think just in this article he talked about Liz Cheney, who she's been going real hard against Trump, right? As well as I think he said at one point he voted for Pete Buttigieg, which
a burner vote.
Well,
nice.
No.
So no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. I personally think there is, right? Because I think Pete Buttigieg is just bullshit. Like he's just a bullshit person to me.
No, I'm talking about like voting for like independent candidates who are like very unlikely to win. But at the same time, it shouldn't just come down to like Democrats and Republicans.
It like, shouldn't. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Yeah. They've
on MTV's The Challenge. That's what they call a burner vote.
yeah. Or was it the Bachelor? Somebody who doesn't get the rose.
Is that
like?
But don't they get like if you don't get a rose, you got to go?
Well, I'm sure they're getting word from like the producer of like, yo, just she brings in ratings. Give her a fucking rose. I know you don't like her. Fuck it.
How much do you think that's curated?
What do you mean? How much? The entire thing is curated. What the fuck are we talking about?
Do you think
any of it's actually real?
Do you think the producers actually be like, yo, we're gonna get this week. We're gonna give these people a rose.
Yeah. Wait, what did you think was happening?
I mean, I never watched this shit. I don't know. I thought if I'm the Bachelor,
arrange a romantic at heart.
If I'm the Bachelor and the producer comes to me like, give Tanya a rose this week. I'm like, yo, no, Tanya's got no ass. She's gotta go.
Oh, it's been nice having you on the show. We're gonna replace you with the other 8,000 guys. One of the other 8,000 guys that apply.
Contingencies in my contract.
You guys don't remember Joe Millionaire?
I remember that.
I remember Joe Millionaire.
Yeah. That one was the most realistic one when they had the final two ladies. And at the end of towards the end of that episode, they revealed that Joe Millionaire is actually just like a broke construction worker.
Yeah.
And one of the two girls got super pissed. She's like, nah, I wanted the $1 million. Like, I wanted the lifestyle. She just walked right off set.
As
and
real
the
as
other
real
girl
can be.
stayed around. She's like, no, I fell in love with this guy. And then, of course,
she's thinking about her career. Yeah,
they're
she's
like,
thinking about her career. Yeah.
You guys still get $1 million from the show,
So, wait, is that what they did?
Yep, that's what they did.
Damn, I don't remember that second part.
That other girl must feel like an idiot. Yep. Walked away from bands just because.
Well, you had to know something was coming on the back end of that, right? Like, oh, he's just a regular or whatever, and then they're just going to let you go.
They wouldn't just film this entire show and then he's like, got to go to work tomorrow.
There's got to be somebody, I mean, some of them do.
Like at least the show would send them on like a couple's vacation.
Oh shit. Anyways, so getting back to Kevin Costner and his politics, I think the thing that I can appreciate about him though is that I can appreciate people who still make movies and shit, and regardless of whatever their politics are. Because if I'm being 100% honest, we've been watching fucking Tom Cruise movies forever. He's a fucking Scientologist. There is nothing that he believes in that I agree with. Right?
I don't give a fuck what
I don't really care.
These people
keep coming out with those Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Is it good?
Now,
that's all I care about.
Here's the thing, though: is that ethical? Right? Because I actually don't know if that actually is ethical. Right? Because look,
why are we talking about ethics?
No.
Tom Cruise, is he going to save the city?
Yeah.
I don't care about his ethics.
Well, there's two folds to it. One, you're actually, in a way, you're kind of subconsciously like allowing people to believe in whatever you believe, especially if I feel like at an actor or actress level, maybe not so much, but at a director level, when you can start guiding the actual messages that are actually coming through in the movie, maybe, because then you can slip in whatever you want and people will be none the wiser because they think, oh, this is just entertainment, not really knowing kind of that you're trying to come from a certain place, right? Even though that's kind of the purpose of movies, but then two, if you're an actor or actress, like how heinous is the shit that you do before we're like, nah, like, you know what I mean? Like if you knowingly like promote shit from like, I don't know, even though we can clearly say this about like Apple or about like pretty much any like, place that has like manufacturing somewhere like in another country, that they probably have like child labor laws and shit. But if you're on there like promoting this shit, like, yeah, like eat fucking whatever these ramen noodles, even though like the shit that went into making it was just like the most heinous shit ever. It's like, where's the ethical line of just like, we allow the shit to pass and then we don't allow it to pass? You know what I mean? Like, obviously when you get to the R. Kellys of the world, different story. That's literally illegal, right? But is there a threshold of just like, I don't know, man. Like John Voight, right? That guy's crazy. Let's just keep it a buck, right? That guy's fucking insane, right?
John Voight, Angelina Jolie's dad, right?
He's crazy.
Yeah. Wild man.
Yeah, he's crazy. I don't know if I'm going out of my way to watch a John Voight movie. I think after figuring out all of his politics, or not all of his politics, but like, and I guess because of a weird thing too of like,
what
then
was
do
that
we
show
have
he was
to?
In? He was in a show with Ray Donovan.
Oh, was he? I didn't never watch Ray
it was
Donovan.
great in Ray Donovan. I didn't know shit. I didn't know he was like a political person who like shares.
No, he's out there.
Yeah,
like real out there.
I've never heard any of his shit.
Yeah,
don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
he was pretty good in Ray Donovan. I can disconnect how I feel about the person or what their message or their religion or their political views from their work. Right. So like Tom Cruise. Yeah, he's a crazy fucking scientist. What is it called? Scientology guy? See, I don't even know what the shit is. He's a crazy Scientologist guy. I don't give a fuck. When is the new movie coming out? Like, that's it.
But don't we in a way give rise to these type of things if we kind of like let them go unchecked? Like, so for instance, what if Tom Cruise was like, yeah, I think segregation was pretty good. I think it's cool. Like, would you then be
I'd be like,
nah.
Fuck, Tom. I mean, would I go see the new movie? I'm like, oh my God. I'd get the bootleg maybe. You know what I mean? But it's like, I wouldn't go to theaters to see it and I wouldn't pay it. But like,
so you're saying that there is a line though?
If it were on, so like something like that, where there's like a very clear, where he makes like a very clear statement, like, I don't like Mexicans. And I'm like, fuck you, Tom. I can't support you because I don't feel the same way. So yes, there's a line there. But if he's like, I think that.
So is the line them listing specific people and groups that they're not, that they like don't fuck with?
The line is where, like, if someone makes a very clear, definitive statement about how they feel, then I'm able to.
Here's an. Okay,
then I'm able to determine how I feel about like exactly what they've said. But what I cannot do is determine, like, what they may have meant or that gray area. So, like, for example, if Tom Cruise says, you know what, I believe in like border control and border protection, and I believe we should like start to look at like immigration into our country. I'm like, you know what, I can't. That may not be a terribly bad thing. Like, I don't 100% disagree with it. I don't truly agree with it.
But usually when white ringers say that, they have no actual interest in, they just racist.
Sure. But like, something like that, if you were to say something like that, I'm like, I partly maybe agree, so long I agree with the fair side of it, not like let's just round people up and kick them out of the country.
But I think that's like they're getting you to implicitly agree to what they're saying because it sounds harmless, right? Or it sounds, that sounds reasonable, but once you dig a little bit, you're like, everything that they're saying is unreasonable, right?
Sure, but in that case, yes.
So the thing is what if they align their politics with people who like what they represent? Like, so for instance, if somebody comes out, if a whatever actor or actress is like, yeah, I support the MAGA movement, it's like, but I know the context of what all of that means. So they didn't come out and say, hey, I'm just super fucking racist and I hate everybody, build a wall or whatever the fucking case is, right? But I know what that implies. When you say you support a political candidate, right? And that's the tough thing about politics is that, and that's why I feel like it's so fragmented nowadays, is because we have so much information that we know what these people represent, right? And if you say you endorse them, then that means that you endorse their policies.
Yeah, for sure. Which is why like a lot of people feel the way they feel about Kanye supporting Trump because, obviously Trump has a history of like.
That went south quick.
All of the shit.
Did you hear about the latest shit with that?
No, what happened?
How they went to dinner and.
Trump and Kanye?
Yo, Kanye.
I bet Kanye paid.
No. I know. But yeah, Trump ain't paying for shit.
No. Despite all the billions he's losing out on those like long-term partnership agreements.
Yeah. No,
Kanye probably still paid.
That's probably true. No, but he went to Mar-a-Lago. He went there with a dude named Nick Fuentes, who he's literally a known white supremacist. Literally. Like that's not hyperbole. That's not like he will I don't know if he's going to admit that he's a white supremacist, but he'll use other language. But at the end of the day, he's a white supremacist, right? Yeah. It's like, so when he made Black Skinhead, he was like, I thought that was just like, you're just being ironic. No, you're just a black skinhead.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Kanye's just at the point where he's like, he cares more about like, like white acceptance from like, especially that like billionaire community, right?
But it's like you don't need to do all this for white acceptance though. Like this is aggressive, dude.
Yeah, like they already like Life of Pablo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we like your shit. They already like it. We all like it. Everybody likes it. You don't have to. But like I think what he's looking for now, he wants those that 1%, those like Jeff Bezoses and those like
you still don't have to do this.
Jerry, like those like billionaires and those Arnolds or
you still
he
don't
wants
have
them
to
to view
walk
him
around
in the same
Nazis.
way that like they view their other peers, the other billionaire peers, right?
But they're for one, he's no longer a billionaire, so you can't do that. But then two, it's like you become radioactive where nobody wants to touch you, right?
So I wonder what are some of the actual like secret benefits of being like that rich that we can't even fathom.
I don't think we have to like stretch our minds that far. It's just ironically enough, you just don't have to pay for shit. People just give you shit.
For sure. Yeah, just for like, oh my God, like this person's coming. Like the chef is like, oh my God, I get to serve this person. The dinner's free, the best champagnes and wines. Yeah. And then
then you keep your billions.
Yeah. Maybe you leave a tip for the servers. I'm sure there's got to be like other crazy, like, I would want access to like the city's electrical grid.
Where fucking Bond villain,
where I could, as my vehicle approaches lights, like the lights change at a different speed, so that I rarely hit a red light.
Here's my theory.
If I make that much money and contribute that much taxes to the city or whatever,
or you probably don't.
If I have a company and my company is located in the city,
they probably don't.
Why am I stopping at red lights? Like fucking mayor, governor, whoever.
Here's my theory, man. Is that the difference between people who don't have money and people who do? I feel like we view the people who don't have money as like, if you got money, you do like ethical things with it. But in reality, it's just like, no, they'd be the same, if not worse, because they didn't have it. So it's just like, yo, do dumb shit. Like all the lights change for me as I.
Listen, I cannot sit here and lie to you and pretend that I would be ethical if given $1 billion, because I don't think anyone would, right? How?
No, what do you mean anyone? Of course, people would be ethical with money.
In year one,
yeah, this guy.
Year one of a Billy, it's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do good shit. I'm gonna give to charity. Year like 3 with a Billy, it's like, no, I'm not stopping at red lights.
Stopping at red lights.
Fuck no.
This guy.
I'm gonna commit a murder and just buy the case.
Jesus Christ. All right. Yeah. Never get. I think the moral to this story is never let Orain come into any sort of money.
I would fly into Russians all the time.
Why? Just
so they can come in, do the thing, and then go back to Moscow.
You watched way too many Jason Bourne movies.
Yes. Seen them all, actually. Several times.
I don't even know. Is that even Russians? I don't even know if that's Russians. In that
case. It was more from Four Brothers, where he's like, out of town shooters. Like the reason why you hire out of town shooters is so they can get the fuck back out of town. Brilliant. That's great.
My argument is they don't have to be Russian. What is specific to Russia that you got to get a Russian?
I mean, come on now. And all the good movies, their bad guys are always like Russians.
In the Equalizer, right? They were all
Equalizer. I think they were like Chechenians. Or what happened in Taken? Where were they from? They were like,
I don't know.
They were in Turkey. No, that was in part 3.
They were from Albania.
Yeah. Also,
Albanian out of towners.
Aren't the Kardashians Albanian?
No, I don't think they're Albanian. So. They are
Armenian.
I believe.
Yeah. It's a bad thing that like those countries just kind of get a bad rap for. Now, granted, I mean, I
don't think they get a bad rap
for like what is it? Kidnapping and.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know. I've never been to Armenia or Albania or whatever other countries in that region, but like in the movies, they're always just like
child trafficking.
Sex traffickers.
Hey guys, and
mostly in Taken movies.
True American fashion. I just want to clarify. Kim Kardashian's family are Dutch, English, Irish, Scottish, and Armenian American.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's mostly Armenian.
Yeah, you can't be 12.
Yeah, I feel like Chris Kris Jenner.
That's
her
on
mom,
Wikipedia. Right? I bet Kris Jenner most recently edited that.
She got on there.
Yeah, it's actually on Amazon. Alexa answers.
It's on Amazon. I don't know. She probably is friends with Bezos. Like, give us all the countries, so we have we have easy access, and they love us in 12 different countries.
Look, we need to get to our main conversation here before we run out of time.
Yeah, very true.
All right, let's talk about Black Panther. You saw it, right?
Yes.
Finally. Okay.
Yes.
All right, we can finally talk about it. Wakanda forever. No, this is press play, Eddie. Yeah, there you go. Wait, there you go.
Yeah, you got to clarify this stuff earlier, man.
Hey, my fault. Hey, my apologies. It's on me. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it, man. Let's have it out. Wakanda forever.
I mean, I struggle to find like what, not necessarily what is there to talk about, but like I feel like the film was
interesting take.
It was a great film,
right?
It was just from top to bottom.
Yeah,
a great film. Storyline made, and like people have, why didn't other Avengers show up to T'Challa's?
You can say that with literally every movie.
Yeah,
who cares?
Also, you can clearly tell it's a very private ceremony in Wakanda. They're not just gonna have any fucking old body. They're not gonna have what the fuck is the Arrow guy?
Green Arrow? Or
No,
I'm sorry,
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Yeah.
Nah, he don't gotta come. Yeah, I mean, like, like this is a private family ceremony.
Hawkeye shows up like, guys, I'm ready. Like,
Yeah,
nah,
bro,
I'm straight.
How did you get here? How did you get past security?
Who let you in?
So I don't think that was a takedown for the film. I don't think the suddenness of, because they had to do it in a way that was sudden, right? Chadwick Boseman is no longer with us.
Yeah.
So they had to hey, we're gonna start the movie off with that thing. With that, we're gonna start by paying homage to Chadwick, and then we're going to still entertain our audience and still tell the stories people still want to hear and see.
Yeah.
And I thought they did that respectfully, and that's the thing I love
What do you
most
think of
about the
Namor?
movie. I liked him. I if you ever read up on like who his character is and his origins, I thought his character made sense. I thought his strategy made sense. And
genocide.
This motherfucker's got to go. But so his strategy of like protecting the, because it's Namor and is it Namor?
Yeah, Namor.
Yeah. He and Aquaman, in the comic books they've clashed and Aquaman beat him.
No, I doubt that.
No, they've had like, I think it was, I forget in what series, but they've went toe to toe and Aquaman did win in that battle. It was a crossover comic book series edition. But anyway, I get
this off the black market.
no, this came out long. They did a crossover. Because
I'm gonna type this.
Yeah. Search Namor versus Aquaman.
I got
anyway,
I would not have pegged that as what I should type in for that.
That was a layup. My bad. So his purpose is very similar to what the purpose of is it T'Challa's father?
Yeah, T'Chaka. Yeah.
Of why he wanted to keep Wakanda private, right? To protect his country, to protect his people, and then once your people are vulnerable, which was Namor was like, we've seen everything. He's like 900 years old, so he's actually the first mutant in the MCU, right? Because he's just older than everybody. So he's seen everything happen: the wars, the violence, the pollution, and he's like, our people can no longer survive if they, on the surface, continue to do what they're doing. Eventually, we'll either be exposed, or our the oceans, as we know it, will continue to be depleted of resources. Like, it's got to be a battle.
The inciting incident was them finding out that there was what do you call it?
Fucking
vibranium
on the ocean's floor.
Ocean,
and then so if humans know that, they're gonna come for it.
Yeah.
They're gonna use it as weapons, and they will destroy anything and everything in order to like access that.
Sure.
And not for good reasons. It's not because they wanted to. This can create what they did in Wakanda. This could be a source of renewable energy. No, they wanted it for weaponry, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, either we allow them to do it, we allow them to destroy our little ecosystem down here, and now they have like globally catastrophic weapons, or we get these motherfuckers out of here. I understood he was a villain to me I liken him to Thanos in that like his what he was doing was a terrible thing. Like he wanted to kill millions or thousands or millions of people, but he had a justifiable reason of sorts.
Oof. Is there ever really a justified reason for wiping out human beings? Like is genocide ever really justifiable?
No. But if someone put like a button in front of you, like you push this button, you'll get rid of like all murders and rapists and child molesters and like just all the bad ones. Would you hit that button?
No, because the question to be asked after that is what counts as bad.
If I could define it, I'd push the button.
That's even more terrifying. Yo, never let a rain get any sort of power.
Let me get that button. The MAGA people, the Trump supporters, murderers, rapists, child molesters.
But that's just it, man. There's some of these Trump people who are just more of
not all of them are
you
like
just said all of them.
people, but I think we just get rid of all of them.
Jesus Christ.
So, there will be some casualties that were unfortunate. Some of them, maybe you just bought the hat, but you don't really agree with everything. You got to go.
That's
less traffic, lower prices. I mean, there's a lot of good that comes from
okay,
getting rid of half the universe.
Yikes. Okay.
Did you see there were whales in the Hudson in Endgame?
Which is worth it. Makes it worth it, right?
Get rid of half of New York.
Why do you care about the whales? Like what is the use of the whales?
Because the shipping, the like large shipping container things. Yeah. Do you know how many whales they kill per year?
No. I'm saying, why do you care about the whales? Like, why does that?
I'm just talking about restoring, our ecosystem.
The environment. Are you? And you're so concerned about our ecosystem? Okay. Do you drink oat milk or almond milk?
Almond milk, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That does a lot to the environment.
Does it?
Yeah.
Are they just squeezing the milk out of almonds?
No, through the whole process of making it, I believe, is really fucked up for the environment. Actually, so,
really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. There you go. So instead of trying to bring back the whales, milk. Maybe start the yikes. Yeah.
Cambodian.
This is some real Cambodian.
I'm glad if you didn't get that joke, I would have questioned.
Awkward. Yeah. Okay. So I too, I adored the movie. Right, so I am biased in that. I'm going to start with what some objections were that I heard from other people about the movie, and we can kind of go through them one by one because I take exception with some of the criticism that the movie receives. First, I think maybe the most we can argue about if this is the biggest criticism that you've heard, but the death of Queen. Oh, spoiler alert! By the way,
yeah.
Have
you seen it, Eddie?
He doesn't care.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So the death of Queen Ramonda. People take exception to that, right? People are really fucking upset that Angela Bassett, who is a national fucking treasure,
she is
like, oh my, we must protect Angela Bassett by all fucking means necessary.
See,
I
think she shouldn't Malcolm have to wait at red lights.
Malcolm X
give her the device.
Why is that your chief thing? Like, is that the number one thing in life? Like, forget disease, forget fucking just fucking red lights. That's the.
How are you going to get to the doctor to get treated, or to get early detection
by waiting 5 extra minutes? I think
in DC that's 45 extra minutes. Now it's stage 3.
The amount of time that it's taking you to get to the doctor's office.
There's a doctor listening like, this is the worst possible spreading of misinformation.
Oh, man, they're pulling us off of YouTube right now. The death of Queen Ramonda. Now, I think this is partly, it depends on how you watch movies, right? Is I think where you come down on this. If you watch movies without really thinking about them too much, and that is code for me calling you stupid, then Queen Ramonda's death is arbitrary and stupid, and you love Angela Bassett, and especially her in that role, and it's like the last bit of family that Shuri has left, so that sucks, right? And you feel like you're losing somebody by losing Queen Ramonda as a part of the story. Now, this I think speaks to how decisive of a film this is, in that the main thing of this film is this whole film is basically about Shuri's dealing with grief, right?
Yeah.
That how she processes grief and how she deals with it, right? First with the death of her brother, and then ultimately with the death of her mother, right? That's what this movie is centrally about, right? Is about both about actually hers as well as Namor's, right? Both of their griefs, and how they process it. If the inciting incident for Shuri's grief is triggered literally before the first frame of the film even starts, right? Then you obviously need something else in the movie to solidify her low moment, right? Or her lowest moment, right? That's when her mother dies, right? So you need something. If the movie's truly about Shuri, right, and her dealing with the grief, you need something in there outside of T'Challa dying that exasperates that grief. So naturally, the only person left, Queen Ramonda, right?
And I like how they did it because initially she was on like, she was kind of like thirsty for blood, right? She wanted revenge. She wanted
Sure, you mean.
Yeah, sure. She wanted she was out for vengeance.
Yeah.
And after Queen Ramonda died, I think that is when her character made that change of like, you know what, like we don't need to we don't need to be at war. This is about protecting Wakanda. She was no longer out for vengeance. She was just out to
still think she was out for vengeance.
She rose to the occasion though. She was
no, because she saw Killmonger after taking the herb. And then I think Killmonger was still in her head. But I think that when it came to the moment, I think of her really becoming like Killmonger, which I thought they were about to do.
Because when she saw the vision of Queen Ramonda, and if it wasn't for that, she may not have had
but that, if you remember, that's all the way at the end, basically. So I think the entire time she was like out for blood, right? Because she already talked to Killmonger and she was just like, yo, I'm with the shits. And I think it's through the recognition of grief. I think, hearing all the stories about Namor that she heard and his reasoning is what allowed her to come to the space of, oh shit, okay, like we're not that dissimilar in terms of where we're coming from.
She identified with like,
if it had been somebody else, she might have deboed him. if it had been somebody else, but because it was Namor, she already talked to him and she already sort of understands where he's coming from. But then also to what people said. So I say all that to say Queen Ramonda's death made sense for the story that they were trying to tell, right?
Yeah. At no point in time did I not think like, oh, they shouldn't have did that. That didn't make sense.
No, it hurt. Like it sucked, right? Like that. I was like, oh fuck, are we not going to get Angela Bassett anymore in this role? And who knows? She might be able to come back and ancestral plane.
Like when Kevin Costner died in the tornado in the first Superman movie.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I guess that's the
Remember
parallel,
he told Clark, he was like, stay.
Which was stupid too, because Clark could have been in and out mad quick.
I don't like, come get me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the other thing is Shuri not being viable as a main protagonist. I think you only get there. This is criticism that I'm hearing, from other people. I think you only get there if you're not actually invested in the story itself, because really Shuri wasn't like the hero of the story in terms of like
she was the unlikely hero, right?
Perfect
not necessarily
way to
the
put
hero
it.
that
Unlikely hero,
but the hero that like rose
who's
to
like
the
thrust
occasion
into that role. She's trying to figure out what the fuck to do. And I think that most of the movie is like half the movie was about her and Queen Ramonda, and then Queen Ramonda dies, and then it's just solely about Shuri. And I think that the movie it's anchored by Shuri's it's anchored by her grief. But I think that I look at it like differently. Like I buy into the fact that Shuri is the protagonist of the film because that's eventually where the story ends up. I don't think it starts there, right? Yeah. I don't think it starts with Shuri's your hero and you're going to have to follow her through her journey, right? I think it goes through a lot of different stages, especially with the death of Chadwick Boseman. And then on top of, and speaking of Chadwick Boseman, people said it wasn't poignant enough about like that. It wasn't like a big up to Chadwick Boseman enough. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like,
and I get that, right? Because people probably wanted to see more of, more flashbacks of Chadwick, more him being more of an integral part of the story. But at the same time, despite that, I do love Chadwick, love his work. I think he was from what I've seen, a wonderful human being, and I'm sad to see his passing. But I do think that there's still more story to be told, right?
Yeah.
So how much of the film, if you dedicate 15 minutes of the total film runtime to pay tribute to Chadwick, is that enough? Someone is going to want 20, and half the movie should have been, the whole movie should have been, right? So it's like, I appreciate what they did in the beginning, addressing it, paying tribute. I remember I was in the theater. It was fucking silent during that moment.
And they just they just I love how they started it, where it just it starts like you don't even like I didn't even know we were done the previews yet.
Yeah,
and the shit just. Oh shit, we're here.
Like let's not wait. We're not gonna do a lead up to it. Like we're here. This thing it actually happened. We're gonna pay. We're gonna acknowledge it. We're gonna pay our tributes and our respect to him.
Yeah,
and then
at the end too.
They exactly at the end. And then but there's still like a film. People still want to be like happy and excited.
There still has to be a fucking story there.
Yeah,
and also too, when somebody's processing grief, it's not all one note. It's not all just simply. I'm going to cry every single day, every single moment, and that's all that there is. There's different fucking levels to it. And there's people who repress it. There's people who like just do other shit. There's people who like bury themselves in whatever the fuck else in order to ignore how they feel. And that's how I've kind of felt about the film is that, okay, King T'Challa died. We got to figure out what the fuck is next because something's got to come next, right? There's still a fucking kingdom to be kingdomed. And so we got to figure out what the fuck we do next, right? And I think, I think that this movie was a lesson in the audience being able to like let go, right?
Yeah, I'm glad that Ryan Coogler did not direct this movie for or based on
the
public
needing to
like trying to appease the public, right? Like we want this, and I'm glad he didn't say like, all right, I'm going to take all that into consideration and put that into the film. I'm glad that he told a story based off of his lens and his vision. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are involved, like a lot of writers and the producer, and like how the actors and the actresses in this film wanted to tell their story. And I think I listened to Angela Bassett's. I listened to an interview that she did where she was talking about like her character and her, the queen's journey and having to step into power. Whereas like that's not ever what she truly wanted. And then this film to me was about people rising to the occasion through tragedy at a most unfortunate time, but still fulfilling a purpose because they have like a responsibility to do so.
Yeah,
and I really like that because how do you pay homage to someone best? It is by fulfilling the purpose that they sought out to fulfill.
By going on. And like speaking specifically about Chadwick Boseman, dude had stage 4 cancer throughout filming the original Black Panther. And so you can't be here and say like, oh man, he would have wanted everybody to stop on a dime and like, no, clearly he wanted the shit to keep going, man. Like, so it's wild to me. I think that what this screams to me is that I watch movies way differently now than I feel like I used to watch movies. Whereas something like that of Queen Ramonda dying, I'd be like, fuck, why'd she have to die? But it's like, once you understand the mechanisms of stories and how they work, at least to a relative degree, I'm no master at it, right? But once you at least understand some of the reasonings for things, just because stories are stories, you start understanding why certain things have to happen, right?
Yeah.
Why certain things like make sense, right?
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, what film do I want to see? Do I want to see a film that's like, it's mostly based about like, the loss of Chadwick or the loss of King T'Challa and like more of a sad, somber film? Or do I want to see a film where it's like, let's not be sad about Chadwick's passing or T'Challa's passing. Let's honor their passing. Let's honor the work that they did and continue to tell a great story. I think that's what Chadwick would have wanted.
Yeah.
Not that I can speak for him on behalf of him, that I was even close and I never met the man. His family members may have a different point of view, but I would like to believe that I think
they were pretty. Actually, I think they were. I think some of his family members were okay with them actually recasting, but in a way, that's what we're going to get anyways, right? It's essentially just a recast.
Sure, and I mean, if you follow the comic book series, several people have worn the Black Panther.
But I think T'Challa specifically, like I think because did you stay for the post credit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then we're gonna get T'Challa again.
Yeah. Essentially. And he got that shit in him, right? I mean, he was born.
Oh, I don't think that's how it works.
Really? No, you can't.
I don't think
it doesn't travel through semen.
You're not. Yeah.
What? No. Gotcha. Gotcha, bro. That's the ancestral herb.
Well, because that's why.
It's more potent than Viagra.
That's why T'Challa needed to take the herb to become the Black Panther because his dad was the Black Panther before
But if he
him.
got the herb in him when I let it off,
dude, this
you know what I mean?
Science. I don't know.
True.
I don't know. And then that's another thing too. Super quick.
But do you know how like the Hulk
seconds.
can Hulk had a son, and his son automatically had the gamma radiation.
I still don't know what the fuck is going. He showed up in a fucking series.
He had tattoos. I thought, how do you tattoo impenetrable skin?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was maybe one of those 24-hour tattoos. He just did it.
Henna tattoo.
He's just trying to look tough. That was another thing too. People were losing their minds. Oh my god. Oh, what? The herb glowed, and that's how you know it was? This is not scientific, nigga. What a part of this seems scientific. Is there a super soldier serum, do you think, in reality, where people are fucking just taking it and
horticulturists were in the theater that's not how it works. Yo, shut the fuck up.
People were so weird in their critiques. That was one of them, is just oh, you're insulting my intelligence because it glowed, and that's how you knew that. Nigga, we're talking about the fake kingdom of Wakanda.
Yeah.
We're talking about an herb that even without glowing, it can give you superpowers and shit, and you just start doing backflips off of buildings. That's reasonable.
Wilder shit happened in Harry Potter. Yeah. But those people are probably still I'm a wizard. I read all the books.
It makes sense to me. Anyways, let's quickly roll through the rest of the stuff here. I just thought we had to talk about Wakanda Forever. Sure. I thought it was a great movie. Loved it. Actually, weirdly enough, I thought it was an improvement on the first one. The first one was
I agree with that. I think I enjoyed this film a little bit better. The first one was fun. I think the music was great.
But this was
the score in this
story,
movie was great. This was the better story for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into our first trailer here. We've got Inside. So this movie is about Nemo, a high-end art thief who's trapped in a New York penthouse after his heist doesn't go as planned. Locked inside with nothing but priceless works of art. He must use all of his cunning and invention to survive. This is directed by Vasilis Katsoupas, and then written by Ben Hopkins, starring William Dafoe, Jean Revos, Eliza Stike, and Josiah Krug. And is due out March 10th of next year, which is literally right around the corner. Eddie, take us away.
I feel you, brother. I gotta set you free.
Help me! Get me out of here!
Final approach to target. Number 1, go!
Okay, you got 7 minutes.
Stay focused. The art in
He's
here
in
is worth
Batman right now?
millions.
Is it one from Dark Knight?
Proceed to step 2.
What's happening? Come in! Come in! It won't open!
Sorry, man. You're on your own.
Word you never want to hear.
Come in, number 3. Number 3, come in.
Help me! Get me out of here!
Go to Duncan Square Park. Look for a guy named Danny. See? Do that for me. Tell him I'm stuck here. Nobody here but us pigeons. I feel you, brother. I gotta set you free. When I was a kid, my teacher asked me what I would save from my house if it were on fire. I answered, my sketchbook, my AC/DC album, and my cat Groucho. I didn't mention my parents or my sister. Does that make me a bad person? Cats die. Music fades. But art is for keeps.
Creepy as fuck. Yo, is there anybody better than William Dafoe at one of those fucking I'm alone and I just lose my mind movies? Because I remember he did the one with what's his name, who just played Robert Pattinson. Is it called The Lighthouse or some shit?
The Lighthouse,
like that?
yep. There was that one film where he was like a hunter. He was like out in the woods. He was like hunting at like the last fucking chupacabra or something like that. And like it was one of those movies where he was like, you know, again isolated. He was alone, and like the entire film was about him as like this like hunter and photographer hunting this thing. He does it so well. I mean, clearly this is how Norman Osborn finances, you know, being the Green Lantern. He's stealing artwork.
The Green Lantern. The Green Goblin.
The Green Goblin, This is how he finances all of it. This time it looks like he got caught up here. But fucking love Willem Dafoe. Great actor. I mean, this guy's like 70 years old, performed his own stunts in, was it Spider-Man No Way Home? Love this guy. It looks like a great movie too. This is a good film I would go to see in theaters for sure.
Yeah, I think there's going to be like a big twist at the end. Like it's like his place or some shit, or like he's just like hearing voices or something. I feel like it's just prime for that, right? And it seems like it's going to be a deep introspection into the subconscious of this guy Nemo. I'm here for it, man. I think these type of movies they don't always work. But when they do, they're amazing.
Yeah, I feel like it's in Trump Tower, and the FBI is gonna raid it and find.
Nah, that shit looked way too clean to be Trump Tower. I didn't see gold anywhere.
Yeah, there's not enough shitty art. He would definitely have like a large portrait of himself.
Oh my god, yo, and like Melania, like she has her own like little small portrait. Trump's fucking huge on the wall. And
no pictures. No pictures of his children. Just him.
What children?
He doesn't give a fuck about them.
Except for Ivanka. Yeah, he definitely has a picture.
Yeah, there'll be some inappropriate photos of Ivanka probably.
All right, let's jump to our next trailer here. White Noise, which dramatizes a contemporary American family, which actually I think comes out this week in theaters, but in a limited capacity. But I think comes out on streaming platform maybe later in December. But dramatizes a contemporary American family's attempt to deal with the mundane conflicts of everyday life while grappling with the universal mysteries of love, death, and possibility of happiness in an uncertain world. This is directed by Noah Baumbach. Great director, by the way. Directed a lot of interesting movies. Written by Baumbach, as well as the story. This is based off a book, and it's by Don DeLillo, I believe, who wrote the book. This is starring Adam Driver, the incomparable Adam Driver, Greta Gerwig, fantastic in her own right, Jodie Turner Smith, John Cheadle, among others. This is due out December 30th of this year. Again, I believe it comes out on a streaming platform. I think it's Netflix, unless I'm mistaken. With that being said, let's check it out.
It's a great cast.
Wake up, we have to leave. 5 more minutes. No more minutes.
Okay, roll film.
Would you like that protein?
That stuff causes cancer in laboratory animals, in case you didn't know.
Either I chew gum or I smoke.
What are these children, yours?
That's mine from wives 1 and 3. There's Babette's from husband 2. Wilder is ours. We're each other's 4th.
Life is good, Jack.
I hope it lasts forever.
Jesus.
Let's watch a sitcom or something.
They're calling it the airborne toxic event.
We won't come this way.
Will we have to leave our home?
Of course not.
How do you know?
I just know.
Okay, what if it's dangerous?
Evacuate all places of residence.
Dad would say it. No.
We have a situation. All we have to do is stay out of the way.
They're passing us, Dad.
Technically, that's illegal.
Shit.
Do sheep have lashes?
Ask your father.
We're going sideways.
Dad, do sheep have lashes?
Doesn't anyone want to pay attention to what's actually happening?
I wish there was something I could do. I wish I could outthink the problem.
There are 2 kinds of people in the world. Killers and dyers. Most of us are dyers.
Right now we're safe. As long as the children are here, they need us.
With some persistent sense of large-scale ruin, we keep inventing hope.
Interesting.
Looks interesting. It's on Netflix. It's easy to access. I would watch this on one of those nights where you're just like, let me find something like weird and random and quirky and fun to put on. This looks like
this would be it.
This is going to be a wild little like family adventure.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, great cast.
Great cast.
Story looks quirky, looks fun. Why not?
Why not? Look, usually I talk a little bit more about the trailers. That was a great trailer. Interesting trailer. Noah Baumbach, great director. But we're going to have to speed through this for us to get to the other stuff, which I do want to talk about because I'm interested to get to this Quentin Tarantino thing. Let's quickly go through this. Bob Iger back with Disney, like he never left.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't even change the name. I think they just fucking the label maker. They just Chapek.
Yeah, they probably still had his office. Just no one's been in it. You know, they just have all the white sheets over it.
Yeah.
Just brought it off, brought in somebody to clean it up. Like it never happened.
Yeah. I don't know what this is gonna do for Disney, but I do know Bob Chapek is like, well, motherfucker, I did have a fucking pandemic on my hands. Now he did not do everything well. We all know the whole Black Widow situation with Scarlett Johansson. And how they were pretty steadfast that they weren't going to give her any more money, even though they probably should have.
Yeah, and then they eventually did.
End up getting more money anyways, which is a pretty big misstep because it was embarrassing. You know, it was public, and the organization Disney like made several like public statements about that that they just didn't need to. Like they were like almost like attacking Scarlett Johansson, which is like, why?
Yeah.
You know,
I wonder. I mean, obviously there's the news around why he's back, but like there's a real reason for him, like a personal reason why I'm sure he's back, and I wonder what that is.
I don't think he wanted to come back. If I'm being honest, I think he was cool. I'm rich. I can just.
You think he was summoned?
No, I think Disney was just like not in shambles, but like.
So he's back to fulfill like his obligations to Disney and like.
No, I don't think he's obligated.
This thing back on the right track.
I don't think he's obligated, but he was probably implored, like, "Yo, we need you.
Yo,
now."
I wonder what his compensation package is to come back.
Actually, right now it can't be that much more, you know, like than maybe what
I don't want the right now money. Give me the later money. The later money is usually the bigger money. We don't have to talk about it right now. Yeah. No, don't worry about it right now. That's fine. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. I'll send you the bill. No, if I'm paying you, we're going to talk about it now.
So one thing I can't stand though, everybody keeps calling him Daddy Iger.
Who?
People I see in publications. Shout out to Campia, John Campia. He keeps calling him Daddy Iger.
I'm not calling no man daddy
for no reason.
Big Daddy Kane. I'll call it Big Daddy Kane.
Actual dad, I'll call daddy because that's what I'm just used to.
No, I call it like dad.
When I say,
Mark.
but when I say
one of them,
when I say it to like other people who aren't my family members, it sounds weird because it's like calling another human being daddy just is like weird. But to my family, it's like perfectly fine. It's just daddy, right?
Yeah.
I'm not calling another man who's not my actual daddy.
No, sir.
What the fuck?
That's what I do that for.
Yeah, it feels weird, feels creepy.
For any of the other men out there who are like, now, listen.
Even for women. Even for women do it, still weird.
Still a little bit weird. No. But like,
still
I'm fine
weird.
with it, right?
No. Just as weird as me calling another dude daddy.
45-year-old grown man referring to another man as daddy. The fuck's going on?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But so anyways, so Bob Iger is back. I think that it immediately helped Disney in terms of just like, you know, their stock price went up thereafter. Hopefully he's going to be able to steady the ship. There's like a lot of problems, I think, even with their amusement park, you know, aspects.
Attendance is down. Streaming services losing money. Obviously, there's like a lot of films that have still not even yet to begin production. That like Blade didn't have a director. Now they got a new director. I had to throw that in there.
Yeah. We'll wrap about that.
There's a lot of things that that Bob obviously knows what the fuck he's doing. He built, you know, he's a part of Disney's success in recent years.
We'll see, because he also didn't have a full blown pandemic. He actually got out literally as that was happening. He's like,
Not my problem.
Exactly.
Not
so
my
so
problem.
we'll actually see if it was actually him or if it was a consequence. Because you know how sometimes presidents get into office and shit goes sideways. You're just like, dude, what the fuck was I going to do with this, right? Like, so for instance, Bush,
like
clearly,
Obama's first term. You know what I mean? He had
no,
the pirates.
I would
Gaddafi,
the Somalian pirates.
He had a lot of shit.
Yeah, but like Bush, right? Now how he responded to it eventually was terrible, but he could not have, or I guess depending on what conspiracy theorists you talk to, maybe they were in on it. But all things being even, you just walk into office like 2 months later, and then fucking 9/11 happens, and you're like,
who's that woman? Addie, was she? You made. I just defer to Addie for all foreign international things. Was she like the prime minister of like UK or whatever? She was on the job for like 10 days.
Oh, and then had to resign.
Then quit.
Yeah.
But she gets to because she served office for a certain amount of time.
I guess
she gets to keep her pension.
Yeah.
That applies here in the U.S. too. That's Liz Truss, but that applies in the U.S. too.
See, I knew Addie would know.
You can legit work a week in congressional office and whatever, and you'll still get a lifetime pension.
Why didn't no one tell me this sooner? I would have been
out
on the campaign trail.
No, you wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have stayed on the job, but let me get elected. I'm a good speaker. You know, I'm gonna get elected 10 days. I'm off this bitch.
Yeah. So, long story short, with Bob Iger, we'll see if he can steady the ship. I have my reservations on if that actually is going to be the case or not. Now, I don't think he's going to have as many missteps as Bob Chapek, but I think that Disney's in a precarious spot based off of just like the state of the world in general. So we'll see. The main thing I want to get to, we're going to, I don't think there's much we need to talk about as far as Blade. Basically, they we're getting a new director here.
New director, darker film. Reports are saying that this is going to be one of the Marvel's darker or darkest films to date, which hopefully that is the end result of this new director, new direction. Bob Iger coming back.
Yeah, Mike Starberry, I believe, is the new director for Blade.
I thought it was another guy, like
Jan
something.
Oh, it might have been. I don't know. Maybe I just misread the. Jan Demange.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got that incorrect. But anyways, so it's supposed to be a more darker take on Blade. I don't know how you get much darker than Wesley Snipes.
I mean, even the Wesley Snipes Blade films, there was a lot of violence, a lot of killing, a lot of vampire slaying and whatnot. But like, I've seen movies where they have like darker vampires. Where like, these motherfuckers are like tearing people up. I've been
promised certain shit from Marvel that I just never get. So it was supposed to be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be Marvel's first true horror movie.
Yeah, no.
It was not a horror movie. There were some scary moments, a little bit.
One zombie maybe. Benedict Cumberbatch, like that's not.
So you'll pardon me if I look at that with a little skepticism in terms of being Marvel's being a darker Marvel movie. But let's get to the thing I really want to talk about, which is Quentin Tarantino talking about Marvel movies. So he had some comments recently. That went along the lines of basically saying that actors aren't stars anymore. Like Captain America is the star, not Chris Evans. And it's so interesting when you hear stupid things from supposedly smart people. Now, I obviously have never met Quentin Tarantino a day in my life, and he's clearly made his fair share of great fucking movies, right? But that to me is stupid for a number of reasons, right? Like the days of the movie star is gone. That they're all just replaced with this Marvelization of cinema, right? It's so dumb because of a few different reasons. One, he's not I'm looking for why that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with movies, period, right? Like if you look at like the 90s movies, 2000s movies, it's like, oh shit. Movies is always this conversation of, we're not able to get movies made because all people want to see are these big fucking stupid action movies, right? So you get the Schwarzeneggers, you get the Stallones, you get all these people who Tom Cruise, right? All these people who get their movies greenlit while everybody else doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Or don't get as big as budgets or whatever the case is, right? So wouldn't your thing be to make the characters, in order to eliminate that, wouldn't you want the characters to be put front and center? Isn't that the whole idea of being auteurs, right? Is to make the project bigger than any one person, right? that if I had Tom Cruise in my movie, sure, it's great that I have Tom Cruise in my movie. It'll bring a lot of attraction to my movie. But at the end of the day, I want the movie to take front and center stage, not Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Right?
Similar thing happens in sports, right? Particularly basketball, whereas like you get one superstar on a team, you're like, well, this team should win the finals, right?
Yeah.
But like the team itself may not actually be a very good team.
Yeah.
You just have one big superstar, and that's what happened with like those old films in the '90s. Schwarzenegger's in it. Oh, it's gonna be like box office gold,
whether it's a good movie or not.
Yeah, exactly. The movie could be shit, but like because of one big name in the film, that major star, that movie gets greenlit. It gets a huge budget. It gets in theaters, and then other smaller projects don't get greenlit that have better stories. I prefer where we're at today, where smaller, you may see a film where there's like no major big name, or maybe like one person, but that person may not be like A-list, like the fucking Rock or Tom Cruise or something like that. But like there's great films, there's great stories, and we're seeing now more, like especially with all these streaming services, there's more films being put out, I would say at a faster rate, that are telling great stories. And we don't have to wait for, who's the guy you love? Christopher. Christopher. We don't have to wait for his big, insane movie with like 12 A-list actors, or we don't have to wait for a Quentin Tarantino film. There are really good movies on Netflix and Hulu that have smaller actors, that are produced with smaller budgets, that tell great stories. I don't give a fuck about how many big name actors or actresses are in the film. I care about like how good is the story.
Yeah, and I think that this kind of Quentin Tarantino's comments kind of fell in line with in the article from Variety here. They mentioned Jennifer Aniston when she was like, "Oh, like there are no more movie stars anymore," and it's like, and like what's the follow up to that? Like,
yeah,
so okay, like, and what's so interesting about comments from like Quentin Tarantino or comments from like Martin Scorsese is that they're okay when it's like their club that's like, hoarding, all the success, right? But when it's somebody else, and I'm not saying that it's better or worse for, movies overall, if it's like, oh shit, only Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, James Cameron, the big sort of A-list directors, they get the movies greenlit, they get their movies out there, right? I'm not saying that's better or worse. What I'm saying is that they're completely fine with it when that's the scenario, right?
Yeah.
Like Quentin Tarantino back in the late 90s, he wasn't complaining when he got all of his movies greenlit, right? He's not complaining when he gets to make The Hateful Eight or, whatever the case is, and he can string together the money for it, even if it might be tougher than a Marvel movie, right? He's okay with things then. But as soon as the script kind of flips and it's just like, oh shit, I don't know, Quentin, we might not be able to make our movie because we're making the next fucking Avengers movie or whatever the case is. It's like, they're insulting cinema. Yeah. And it's like, no, they're not. They're doing the same shit you guys always done. Meaning that, and also Quentin Tarantino, that's how of course you'd like it. That's how you've made your career in all of your movies. You put 12 different fucking A-list actors in your movies, and then you're like, but the story, and it's like,
yeah,
or the 12 actors you have in it that everybody's going to go watch, right?
Exactly.
Like regardless of if the story's good or not. Anyways, but
yeah, it's a hypocritical statement. It's just he's not. Hollywood is no longer about the big celebrity and the big director. It's about like, okay, a cast of people that could put together a great project.
Yeah, and he also,
I prefer that.
He also had comments where he kind of like insulted people of just like, oh well, I'll never do a Marvel movie because I can't be a hired hand.
I don't care if you ever do a Marvel movie. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, it'd be a weird movie if he created a Marvel movie. But I
sucking on toes and shit like that. Like, nah, we're good.
Or he says the word nigga like 12 times.
400 times. Like, holy shit! I didn't know.
Captain America.
How did racism find its way to Asgard? Like, Jesus Christ.
So. When he says stuff like that, it becomes a case where clearly he's like kind of like putting his nose up to like, Marvel movies. And I get what he's saying to a certain degree, right? You have a certain bit of like leeway when you just make your own project that isn't like tied to any other properties. But if you're in a fucking connected universe, yeah, of course you've got certain rules you got to abide by. You got certain parameters that you got to play in. But really, like, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is much different than fucking Captain America, the first Avenger. Now, the bones of the story might be like like in terms of like the hero's journey or whatever the case is, right? Like might be similar, but that's only through consequence of it being an action movie or movie about heroes, not speaking to any sort of individuality that the directors might actually inject to it. Like those feel like very fucking different movies to me because of the people that directed it. Captain Marvel feels very fucking different than an Avengers movie, right? Like because two different fucking perspectives,
different storylines, different characters, different directors, different actors. Like, even though the MCU is connected, there's a lot of differentiation throughout.
For as much as it might be the same, it's still different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's fucking hating. I don't put too much stock into one man's opinion. Tarantino's entitled to his. I don't care about it.
Yeah, he's entitled to his. He's entitled to his.
That's
it always amazes me how people who in positions of power, like if you just like a up and coming person who's trying to get their film made and is like, fuck these, all they ever want to do is just make Marvel movies, right? They don't want like make my personal little small movie that is a personal movie. I can understand your argument. If you're quitting fucking Tarantino, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
Get over it.
Just go make your
films. Make your.
You know you're gonna get to make it, so just go make your movie.
Stop crying about what they're doing.
Exactly.
You do your shit. Yeah.
Anyways,
let's get you out of
here. That's the
show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back same time, same place next week. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I see no hiccups.
Yeah, let's see. With that being said, goddamn, Eddie, what's going on with the? Did I do that? Did I do that? Oh shit! Fuck.
Read between the lines. There's not much space there, but do your best.
Hey man, we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. To them with the Easy Protocol.
Fade out.
Peace.